begin with a confession. A few months ago, I caught myself scrolling on my phone while watching Netflix, while trying to do my homework, with a second tab open for YouTube and a group chat buzzing non-stop on the side. Multitasking? Maybe. But mostly, I was overwhelmed, scattered, and anxious. My brain was fried, my focus gone. And in the middle of all that chaos, I asked myself, what am I even doing right now? Sound familiar? If you had to think about it, you're not alone. We live in a world that celebrates being always on, always pinging, updating, buzzing. And yet, we're also more anxious, more distracted, and more emotionally burnt out than ever. But here's the truth. In a world that never stops scrolling, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is log out. Let me tell you about the night I missed an entire movie while watching it. It was a Friday night, the kind of night where you just want to shut the world out and unwind. I made popcorn, dimmed the lights, picked my favorite blanket, and hit play on a movie I had been dying to watch. But just before the opening credits rolled, I thought, I'll check my phone for a second. You already know where this is going. One notification led to a scroll turned into a post turned into a reel, a rabbit hole of updates I didn't even care about. But just before I looked up, the screen was black. 2 hours gone. The movie has finished, and I hadn't seen a single scene. Not because I was busy, not because I was asleep, but because I was everywhere, except where I was supposed to be in that moment. That night hit me like a wave. I started wondering if I could miss something I was really excited for. What else in life was I missing? Conversations, laughter, peace. This moment made me realize that life isn't meant to be experienced in fragments. It's meant to be savored moment by moment. This new awareness didn't eliminate the need to be connected, but it just reminded me that I could choose when and how to connect. Now let's zoom out for a second, because my story is not unique. We are living in the most connected time in human history. According to a research by Data Reporter, the average global internet user spends about 6 hours and 37 minutes online every day. That's over 100 full days a year and more than a quarter of our life. Moreover, another research shows that the average global internet user searches their phone 344 times a day. That means our attention is hijacked every 4 minutes. So imagine how much deep work, creativity, and reflections we lose because of constant interruptions, as our brain takes 23 minutes to fully regain focus when you switch digitally. Did you know that some of the most researchers in history understood the power of boredom? They allowed their minds to wander, and in that stillness, they found inspiration. But what do we do now? The moment we feel even a little bored, what do? We grab our phones, we scroll, we consume, we replace deep thinking with shallow distractions. Let's talk about something most of us feel but rarely speak about, the comparison trap. You open your phone and within seconds, you're flooded with images. Someone on an exotic vacation, another celebrating a promotion, a perfectly curated selfie. And even though we know it's a highlight reel, a little voice in our heads whispers, why am I not doing more? Why don't I measure up? That constant comparison doesn't just fuel anxiety. It steals our joy and it disconnects us from our authentic selves. So, right now, what are you doing? Most of us are at our phones researching. I once read about a mom at a theater. She was so intent on capturing every detail on her phone that she actually missed the performance unfolding on stage. This situation illustrates the profound irony of our data. We're connected to a digital copy of our life, but we are missing life itself. Let's talk into another crucial aspect, the illusion of connection. This little device change the world. It connects us to people across the globe, gives us access to all the knowledge humanity has ever produced, and yet, for all its powers, it quietly disconnects us from ourselves, from people around us, and from the present moment. Imagine this. You're sitting in a cafe, sitting across from a friend, the coffee's hot, the conversation's flowing. But right there on the table sits a phone face up. It's not pinging, it's not pinging, it's doing nothing. But it is doing something. Researchers actually call this the iPhone effect. That's actually the title of a 2016 study done by Shalini Misra and her team. In it, 100 pairs of people, friends, partners, and even strangers were asked to have a 10-minute conversation. Some had a phone nearby, others didn't. And the results, when the phone was visible, even if it wasn't being used, people reported lower levels of empathy and emotional engagement. Why? Because that silent phone sends a loud message. This moment matters, but something way more important might show up at any second. And we see it everywhere. Friends together, scrolling instead of speaking. Families at dinner table, also scrolling instead of speaking. We are physically here, but mentally and emotionally, we are miles away. Digital devices and the constant barrage of notifications promise to connect us. What happens under the surface might be counterproductive. Research published in the Nature of Communication in 2021 found that digital multitasking, switching rapidly between text, emails, and other digital inputs might actually change the structure of your brain over time. It's not only about mental exhaustion, it's literally about our brain adapting to an environment where deep, shallow distractions are constantly interrupted. When we multitask digitally, our brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for executive functions like attention, decision-making, and empathy, is forced to operate in a scattered manner. Therefore, over time, this can diminish the amount of gray matter available in these areas. Gray matter contains most of the cell's neuronal cell bodies and is essential for decision-making and for daily life. So, imagine it like this. Think of your brain as a muscle. When you engage in effective and efficient activities, like reading a book or engaging in deep emotional conversations, you're effectively motivating your brain, making it stronger. However, if you're engaged in shallow activities or even multitasking digitally, you are pulling your brains in thousands of directions at once. So imagine this can really diminish your effect and diminish your relationship with others and even your communications with others. Now the good news is, unplugging let's talk about something, mental creativity and when you unplug digitally, you allow yourself to see and hear stuff you missed before. These constant unplugging could actually engage and make your life more meaningfully. You could start hear, feel, and engage your stuff you miss when you're plugged up. Now imagine your relationship with others. When was the last time you engaged in a deep and emotional conversation? Feel rare, doesn't it? When you unplug, you are telling this person you are talking to right now, you matter. Since our life right now is full of social media likes and digital and notification texts. So that constant distraction is pulling us away from our relationships with others and from engaging in deep conversation. So let's try something right now. Imagine you've left your phone at home. How does that feel? Panic, relief. If your first instinct is panic, that's all right, because that's a sign you need to unplug more often. Now, today I would like to share 5 simple steps that help me regain my focus. First, start with the morning no scroll ritual. Why? Because start your day with intentions, not information overall. Second, engage 1 hour a day with no screens. This 1 hour, use it to reflect on your day. Use it to engage in communications. Use it to just realize how your day was. You are constantly engaged with the technology. You are at school, staring at your screen for 7 hours daily. Just unplug for 1 hour, and you could see a good big change. You could dedicate one afternoon just to walk, engage in something you like, pursue a hobby. These small changes may actually help you. But I realized that technology isn't the enemy, it's how we use it. We can let it consume our time, attention, or we can set boundaries and make sure that we choose how to make it. So I challenge you today, take a small break, unplug, even just for a little while, and you could see where this might take you. Because in reality, when you look forward, you're not going to remember the days you spent scrolling. You will remember the moments you were truly there. Thank you.